Okay, to watch this video for Friday, November 10th. Um, Real quick, I want to mention that I've only been trading the first hour this week because I got a side project going on in my life, and so I've only been able to trade the first hour. And I just checked. I've had a decent week trading the first hour. I'm 23-0 so far this week, and that is all implementing the strategies that we teach. So I wanted to share this with you. This is my website real quick. The homepage. If you scroll down, you see this video right here. Over here, hopefully you can see my cursor. Unlike other sites, we call our trade ideas before we enter. Click here to watch and hear actual calls made in our chat room. Wayne has started, without even telling me when he's doing it, he's just started recording when we're walking people through a trade to kind of, I don't know, so we can let you know that we do emphasize education. So if you click anywhere on here where it says unlike other sites, just click anywhere on those words, it takes you to this video and this video. So I highly recommend, if you get the time, on the home page, again, right by this video, down here where it says unlike other sites, click on that, go to those, watch those videos. They were actually recorded calls in our chat room as they were unfolding before they triggered. You'll see a little bit of, you'll notice there's never any, oh guys, I just took this stock. And then everyone tries to pile in. That's not a call to me. That's, hey, I'm already in it. Hopefully you'll chase it. That's not real trading. So we're hoping, and I'm sure, knowing Wayne, he's going to make a bunch more videos. So that page is just going to get more and more full of actual recorded calls of what our members see and hear in our chat room. So keep that in mind and give it a watch. All right, so the SPY gapped down a little bit, sold off today, and ended up closing back near its high. So it's one of those buy the dip markets, right? Here's what I'm watching for Friday. And again, I'll only be able to trade the first hour. OTIC, 27 million shares, gapped up, sold off. Still worth watching. I mean, it sold off and then ended up ripping through the high of day, and then kind of went sideways the rest of the day. So there's no tip there as to what it's going to do tomorrow. But I think it's definitely, with this kind of volume, worth watching. It might squeeze if we get the right setup. If not, we won't take it. Roku, man, some people in chat got this, I want to say around 24 bucks this morning. No, closer to 25. Right in this area on this third candle, it was green. I was busy trading something else, and I made some decent money in it. But man, this was a huge move here. This basically a red to green on Roku after the gap up. I mean, oh geez, it went up like $4 and then some in about 8 minutes. That's a day trader's dream. Anyway, I'm going to watch it again tomorrow, but tomorrow doesn't seem like the best time. It's close to all-time highs, though, so it did have earnings. Of course, it's a newer issue, but you never know. That one's worth watching for the next 2 weeks, really. I'd be surprised if tomorrow's another big day, but we'll have it on a chart. NFEC, this one's a little obscure. This big spike, still not even 1 million shares, so I'm going to watch it, but I'm not in love with this one at all. You've got all these kind of topping tails here, but if it can get going, I don't know if this was just they're trying to get into China mania on some of these stocks or not. I really didn't check to see if it had news. One of my least favorites on the list, but I thought it was worth watching. Craig, kind of CREG, the same thing. Huge move, massive volume though on this one, 26 million shares. So this one really should be on your chart for the next week or so. ONCS had the gap up run. It ran and then sold off, and then today sold off this morning. And as it came back up, I actually called this at 203. Where was it? Oh, this is today's right here. I actually called this at 203 right here. And it doesn't seem like much, but from 203 it went to 221, and you'll notice, you hear me talk about this a lot. My entries are such that if I'm right, it should work right away. In other words, not even 30 seconds of being underwater, and that one of those inflection point trades, it worked perfectly. 203, these are 5-minute candles, so in about 10 minutes it's up to 220. Plenty of money to be made. You can see there was decent volume there. And I made a few bucks on that one too. But anyway, let's go back to the daily, and it's worth watching again tomorrow. All right, this one's getting some nice action, especially the fact that it looked like it was rolling over. Shorts were going to fill the gap, and next thing you know, it closes green. Definitely worth watching. All right, so that's ONCS. EVEP gap down today. Before today, I had this on bounce watch, and then it gapped down and then closed green. So I think that bounce might continue tomorrow. Worth watching. AAOI. Before I left today, I said, hey guys, this is worth watching, especially if it could flag a little bit or, put in a lower high. It's worth, instead of, actually, to be fair, it looked like this one. I said it. I said, hey, watch this one, because I was trying to find stocks since I knew I had to leave for people to watch. I said AAOI is interesting. Over 43, you've got the red to green, you've got a high day break, and it had a huge day yesterday. So I said, but I don't want it to really break right away. I don't want it to just climb from 41.50. And so you did get that lower high and then a little bit of a pullback. So I'm hoping, I haven't spoken about it in chat, but hoping they got it over this lower high, over 42.75. And then you got that high. Even if you just took the 43 break that I mentioned, you still did pretty well. Went through 44. Having said all that, I was gone, so I have no idea if anybody took it or not. But I still like it. You had this big volume spike, and it's an inside day. So this one still looks good to me for a possible trade tomorrow. Icon, ICON. Let's go to 15-minute candles. It kind of cleans it up a little bit. This is the one that it looked pretty much like bankruptcy. And then you got a nice bounce on really big volume, and you've got a pretty handsome cup and handle. Again, this is 15-minute candles after where it bounced to 215 on massive volume. It came back down, and now it's coming back up and kind of flagging below 2. That one's worth watching, especially if it breaks 2. You might take out that 215 and really rip. That is ICON. I did want to put a shipper. Let's go back to daily. Whoops. I did want to put a shipper on watch. Let's try that one more time. There's the daily of tops. Scroll over. So you had this huge move, and then a few days lower. So I'm going to watch, you can't really tell. It's so bunched together when you look at the daily chart, but I'm going to watch tops as a potential shipper for a bounce. Pandora, the letter P. Nothing pretty here, right? Nothing pretty about this chart, but really beaten up. This thing was over $7. I guess it fell down on earnings, and now you're, like 4 more days lower. Really starting to get downside shape. This one could get a nice little, snapback bounce one of these days. And down in this price range, you might get a nice percentage gainer. So really like this Pandora for a potential bounce. Again, I never just jump in anything. We give a reason. I can usually give you 2 or 3 reasons on every trade I take. It's never just, I like it here. It'll always be based on the intraday action and the daily chart and level 2 and things like that. So, and I always tell our students, if you're considering a trade and you can't give, 2 or 3 reasons, to an imaginary trader, imaginary person standing over your shoulder watching you trade, somebody you have to explain to why you're taking the trade. If you can't give 2 or 3 reasons, and believe me, anyone who's taken our course always trades with an imaginary trading buddy looking over their shoulder. And you always have to be able to explain in detail why you're taking a trade at the moment you're taking it, or you shouldn't take the trade. That alone should keep you out of a lot of trouble. Anyway, IZEA is the last one on my list. So it gapped up yesterday. I thought it said record earnings or record third quarter earnings, something like that. And then it sold off. Sold off again today, but a nice kind of little intraday rebound. So this one's on bounce watch for tomorrow. We'll also add gappers in the morning. I'm going to leave it at that. Have a great night. We'll see everybody tomorrow morning.